Luoyang, 132 AD. Feel this. Right now, beneath your feet, the ground is moving. Not much, not enough for any human being to notice. A pebble trembles almost invisibly in an empty courtyard. Ripples spread across a puddle no one is looking at. In the busy market streets nearby, merchants call out their prices, children run between the stalls. Life goes on exactly as it always has, because nobody here can feel what is happening. Hundreds of miles to the west, past the hazy mountains on the horizon, the earth is tearing itself apart, and no one in the capital of the Han Empire has any way of knowing it yet. For centuries, this has been the terrifying reality of ruling an empire this vast. Earthquakes strike constantly across Han China, and when they do, entire villages are reduced to rubble in seconds, mud brick walls collapsing, dust hanging in the air over the wounded and the buried. Survivors dig each other out with their bare hands. And then someone has to ride for days, sometimes for weeks, along dusty imperial roads, simply to tell the capital that a disaster has even occurred at all. By the time a rider reaches Luoyang, exhausted and half-starved, the news is already old. Aid arrives too late, if it arrives at all. Inside the imperial court hall, officials pile up scroll after scroll of disaster reports that always arrive far too slowly to matter, tracing their fingers grimly across maps, calculating how many days of travel separate the capital from a catastrophe it cannot see, cannot feel, and cannot answer in time. The emperor listens to another late report, delivered on trembling knees, and grows more frustrated with every single one. On the edge of the city, in a modest scholar's residence lit by a single lamp, a man named Zhang Heng sits surrounded by star charts, bronze instruments, and the quiet, restless mind of a genuine polymath. He is an astronomer, a mathematician, an engineer who has already built a water-powered model of the heavens and improved the water clocks that measure the hours of the court's days. And he is, by the standards of his peers, something of a heretic, a man who trusts careful observation and mechanism over superstition, which does not make him popular in a court that prizes tradition above all else. At a formal gathering, other officials speak dismissively just out of easy earshot, while Zhang Heng stands slightly apart, quietly excluded from their circle. He absorbs their doubt without reaction, jaw set, eyes steady, and walks away unbothered, because he is already thinking about something else entirely. How do you feel an earthquake hundreds of miles away before a single messenger can ride to tell you? That night, by candlelight, he unrolls a fresh scroll and begins to sketch the outline of a great vessel, dragon heads emerging around its ring, rough, determined lines. In a Han Dynasty bronze foundry at dawn, furnaces roar and molten bronze pours in a glowing stream into a vessel-shaped mold nearly 2 meters wide, sparks rising into the heat-shimmering air. Zhang Heng watches every stage of the casting personally, arms crossed, reflected firelight on his face. Workers strain to lift the still warm bronze shell free of its mold. Craftsmen engrave mountains, tortoises, birds, and ancient script into its surface with fine chisels, patient and precise. Others sculpt 8 individual dragon heads in wax before casting, sharp teeth and coiling features taking shape beneath careful hands, each one mounted afterward with painstaking precision to face one of the 8 compass directions. Each dragon's jaw fitted to hold a single small polished bronze ball. Beneath each dragon, a bronze toad is set into place, its mouth wide open, waiting. But the true secret of the machine is hidden entirely from view. Inside the vessel, Zhang Heng himself kneels to install a heavy central pillar, an inverted pendulum, balanced at the exact center with extraordinary precision, connected by a hidden series of levers and toothed gears reaching out toward all 8 directions at once. He tests it personally, again and again. The faintest nudge to the pillar triggers a lever, a dragon's mouth snaps open, and a ball drops cleanly into the toad below with a single, clear, satisfying chime. The same small miracle every time. Craftsmen lower the great domed lid into place, sealing the entire mechanism from view forever, leaving only bronze dragons and waiting toads visible on the outside. He steps back to look at his finished creation, and for the first time in a long while, allows himself something close to satisfaction. The completed device is loaded under wraps onto a heavy ox cart and rolled through the streets of Luoyang toward the palace, curious onlookers pausing to stare at the strange covered shape rumbling past. In the grand court hall, officials and nobles are already murmuring with curiosity by the time it arrives. Zhang Heng stands beside it, calm despite the weight of the moment, and pulls the covering away in a single motion. The dragon jar is revealed to the court for the first time. 8 bronze dragons catching the torchlight at once, gasps rippling through the hall. But astonishment quickly curdles into doubt. Skeptical officials exchange knowing glances and faint smirks. A senior official steps forward and dismisses it outright in front of the entire court, calling it nothing more than an elaborate, useless toy, and others nod along in easy agreement. Zhang Heng's face stays perfectly calm under the open scorn, a flicker of quiet certainty in his eyes, the only sign that he has heard them at all. The device is installed in a quiet chamber near the hall and left there. Weeks pass. Court attendants walk by and laugh at its apparent uselessness. Zhang Heng passes the doorway now and then on routine business, glancing at his silent creation with unwavering, patient confidence. Then, on a calm afternoon, hundreds of miles to the west, in the remote region of Longxi, the ground begins to shudder. Within seconds, a powerful earthquake tears through the countryside, mud brick structures crumbling into dust, the roar of collapsing walls filling the air, distant figures fleeing through the wreckage. In Luoyang, at the exact same moment, absolutely nothing happens. Officials go about their ordinary business in the calm of the court hall. No one feels a thing. But inside the sealed bronze vessel, hidden from every eye in the building, the heavy central pillar tilts, almost imperceptibly, toward the west. A mechanism engages in total silence. And then, a single sharp click. The western dragon's jaw snaps open, and its bronze ball falls in a short, clean arc directly into the mouth of the toad waiting below. The chime rings out through the empty chamber. A passing attendant freezes mid-step, turns slowly toward the sound, and stares in disbelief. Within moments, officials are rushing in from every direction, gathering around the dragon jar in confused urgency. Zhang Heng arrives at a fast, purposeful walk, kneels to examine the fallen ball, looks up, and calmly declares the direction: west. The hall erupts in disbelief and scattered mocking laughter, because nobody in the capital felt anything at all. How could a bronze jar know what no human being can sense? Zhang Heng's expression does not change. He has absolute, quiet certainty in his eyes, and he simply waits. Days later, a messenger rides hard along the dusty imperial road toward Luoyang, his horse lathered with exhaustion, his own face grim with the weight of what he carries.
He arrives at the city gates, nearly collapsing, and is brought immediately before the same gathered court, dust-covered, breathless, kneeling to deliver his report. He has come from Longxi, hundreds of miles to the west, riding for days without proper rest. A devastating earthquake struck there, exactly as the Western Dragon foretold, days before this exhausted man could ever have reached the capital to report it in person. The senior official who mocked the device only moments before feels the scorn drain slowly from his face, replaced by dawning, undeniable disbelief. As one, the entire hall turns to look at the dragon jar standing quietly in its chamber doorway. The weight of what has just happened settles over the room in absolute silence. Zhang Heng stands among them, no triumph on his face, only calm vindication, his eyes briefly meeting the emperor's across the hall. The emperor rises slightly from his seat and regards him with a respect that was entirely absent only weeks before. From this day forward, the dragon jar no longer sits hidden in a side chamber. It stands at the center of the court hall itself, and the officials who once laughed now gather around it with genuine reverence. Zhang Heng's seismoscope, the Houfeng Didong Yi, would go on to detect earthquakes from hundreds of miles away with a level of directional accuracy that would not be matched anywhere else in the world for over 1,500 years. Its sensitivity so far ahead of its time that some later scholars, seeing only the description and not the device itself, doubted it could ever have existed at all. The original device itself was eventually lost, swallowed by war, chaos, and the shifting fortunes of the noble families who may have coveted the knowledge locked inside it. Only fragments of description in ancient texts survive to tell us it ever existed at all. Centuries later, in museums far from Luoyang, careful reconstructions now stand quietly behind glass. 8 dragons, 8 waiting toads, a silent tribute to one calm, stubborn scholar who built a machine to feel what no human being ever could, and was right
long before anyone was willing to believe him. If you want to discover the other lost inventions of the ancient world that were centuries ahead of their time, click the video on screen now.
The Dragon Jar. It is here. We have found it.